One of my favorite TV shows of all time is Amazon's Undone, not to be confused with Undoing. It's about a woman named Alma who gets into a car accident and then starts to experience reality in a different way. Now, season 2 just dropped, and so this video is primarily geared towards people who have seen it because I'm about to get into spoilers. But if you've never seen the show, please go watch it. So that is both an encouragement and also a spoiler warning. So, for those of you who have seen season 2, to me, it's absolutely brilliant. And what's interesting is it didn't start off that way for me. When I watched season 2's episode 1, I was thinking to myself, okay, this is nice, but it's not as gripping as the original first season. Like, did we ultimately need a second season? I began to wonder. Because, things have now been fixed. The dad's there and so forth, and it's like, okay, things are good, and now we're just seemingly introducing problems just for the sake of having a season, right? And then, as the episodes go by, I'm more and more invested into this, not mystery, but this, figuring out of a family conflict and resolving it and what's going to happen. And then by the end of episode 7, it ends on this really high note. And, in many ways, too high of a note, especially since I knew there was going to be another episode. But I'm thinking to myself, like, well, now what are they going to do? What could possibly happen in episode 8? And the brilliance of it is it goes back to that premise of, is Alma, for lack of a better term, crazy or not? Can she really see reality differently and has these powers or not? Because she goes back into, quote-unquote, the original timeline, the timeline where she's still looking at the cave, and therefore none of this really has happened, and yet it alters her, right? And I think what it does is it works on all these different levels because, yeah, you can either think that she is just gone totally insane and these are all, visual manifestations in her mind, or it is actually happening. Like in life, there's certain things that just are unexplained because now she has the knowledge of all these things like she did in season 1 where her mom's like, how did you know that? And what it ultimately does is you can't help and fix anything until you fix yourself. And that's what I love in terms of where things are headed. And yes, it's a bit of a downer, but at the same time, it's beautiful because now it sets up she has to fix herself and her life and find happiness herself before she can do anything for anyone else. And I love that. So I'm excited for what potentially season 3 could bring, assuming that there is a season 3.